What is going on? What is going on? What is going on, party people? It's your boy, Coach D Brown, former big leaguer, former first round pick with the Kansas City Royals, giving you all this knowledge that I can in and around this youth baseball space, helping kids get maximum exposure in and around the country and helping kids get into school and bringing on the hottest coaches in the country. That's right, the hottest coaches, and it's always good, all right, when I bring on some of these coaches that I have a personal relationship. So, the world is a small and big place at the same time. I ain't seen my boy over here in forever, and my dumb self don't even be on Instagram like that. So I happened to check on Instagram one day, and I seen a message from my boy who I haven't heard from since I think maybe a year or two after we played together. We gonna both call out our ages at this time, but he's like, D, I'm right down the street, whatever. I see you doing so and so, and I'm like, oh, and this is my Australian brother over there, come from way over there, pumping 97 back in the day. You know what I'm saying? I don't see how that arm is now, coach. You know what I'm saying? But listen, man, without further ado, man, former major leaguer, a longtime friend, ex-teammate of mine, Rich Thompson, over there, head coach at National Park College out there in Hot Springs, Arkansas. All right, coach, man, what's going on, family?
Mate, it's been a long time, I know, and it's good to get back with you, buddy. It's after all these years, you kind of lose touch with a lot of guys, and thank goodness social media is a thing for some things, I suppose, right?
Right.
You get to catch up with the boys and not necessarily always, at least catch up with what they're doing and hopefully rekindle those relationships you made as players and spend all those times in locker rooms together, on bus trips, on planes, on, all these kinds of things that, as a former player, you miss.
No doubt about it, man. And speaking of catching up and figuring out what people are doing, man, it's a blessing to see you get into the coaching ranks in college at that, man. And I mean, I kind of have an idea why you're in Arkansas. I have, I could put two and two together, but I'm gonna leave it up to you, all right? And for all my listeners over here, again, this is the first time me and my boy over here talking in over 10 plus years right now. You are essentially seeing us catch up right before your eyes. We did a little bit of messaging on the phone, but you're seeing us teammates over there catching up right before your eyes. All right. So anyway, so now you're in Arkansas. All right. So how my boy from Australia through the rankings of the big leagues, and look what happened, man. How'd you end up being the junior college coach over there in Arkansas? Tell me the skinny, man.
Funnily enough, I think we were probably playing against each other. You were in Wichita and I was in Arkansas when I eventually met my wife.
Okay, I knew it. I knew it.
Yeah. Most of the time when I mean, I'll spend 9 months a year in America anyway. Of course, you're going to meet a girl in that period of time more than being at home for a couple of months a year. So, met her in 06, made the big leagues in 07, and the rest is history. We got a couple of kids, and it's a heck of a lot cheaper to live in Arkansas than it is in Australia, and there's lots of great situations here for baseball, I think, in general. If you are going to be a baseball guy, Australia is awesome, and we have a great product coming out of Australia every year. My biggest part was, how do I give back to kids wherever I'm at? And how do I develop the kids that, somebody along the lines put a heck of a lot of time, a lot of people along the lines put a heck of a lot of time into me as a player. We're always going to pay that back. So 2 years ago,
no doubt about it, man. So keep going.
There you go. Yeah, 2 years ago, I had the opportunity.
Keep going, man. Keep going. My bad.
You got me? Yeah, 2 years ago, I got into we were starting the program here in Hot Springs, and we hadn't had a program in 25 years. So I just lived here, somewhat retired here. I was still trying to play up until really 2 years ago. I hurt my back with the Blue Jays in 13, ended up with 2 in big league spring training. I would pitch against the Yankees one day, blew up my back, 2 back fusions later. It just never came back to me. So we started the program 2 years ago. And it was just that I was probably the best candidate living here at the time to help and to come on as the assistant, and then this year take over as the head. So
that's crazy. So brand new program, haven't been around it because I actually moved from the Memphis area. I've been in Memphis for a while, and I moved, not too long ago. But Arkansas was always known as not having a whole lot of junior colleges, in the state of Arkansas, right? It's Littleton. I'm in like what 3 to 5 running in. How many junior colleges are in Arkansas? I don't want to call it out if I'm wrong.
No. So basically, we had Arkansas Baptist and North Ark. So Arkansas Baptist was based out of Little Rock. North Ark was based in Harrison, Arkansas, which is kind of north of the state. We came in 2 years ago here in Hot Springs. So those other two, so Arkansas Baptist was D1, North Ark was D3. We kind of were filling the void in D2. Then Rich Mountain, which is Mena, Arkansas, which is almost on the border of Oklahoma, this is their first year as a Region 2 D2 program.
Okay.
And now I believe in the next year we're getting 2 more. So it goes to show the success of what the groundwork I think we kind of laid, that everyone was like, man, this is too good a thing to have junior college athletics in Arkansas. These Arkansas kids are leaving the state.
Right.
Right. We need a program here where these kids aren't looking to go to Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, Tennessee, these neighboring states, Kansas. I know a bunch of kids that went to Kansas. Why are we losing these kids out of state? And the depth here is actually very good. And you could almost stay within Arkansas and have a very good program.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of big leaguers come out of that Arkansas, especially that Little Rock area, man. Some Cliff Lees, and it's been some big time players out there that come out of there. I mean, I made my way in there and recruited kids, for my programs in the past, and that's why I was surprised to hear there's not too many JCs, man. So that's really cool that you guys are, you just starting and doing well. I want to know how well you guys are doing, but it's good that you guys are expanding in and around that Arkansas area, man. So listen, man. Let's go back to, I want to hear about the start of that, National Park College, man. I know you said it's in Hot Springs, but if you could, man, expand on the conference, what type of schedule, enrollment, and just start with there when we get into this rosters and stuff like that.
Absolutely. So we're obviously D2 JUCO. So Hot Springs, where we are based, is actually the original home of spring training.
Yeah, so I saw that. Yeah, I saw that thing. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So Babe Ruth, Hank Aaron, like Jackie Robinson, Cy Young, everybody came through here at one point in the early 1890s, I believe, is kind of when it was, right? So until the teens, like 19 teens, we were the home. And all the best players came through here. So crazily enough, I just ended up meeting a girl from here and ended up moving here, right? So we end up really pushing that narrative as a town now. We had this guy that was really into the history. He really brought the history back to Hot Springs and say, hey, this is where it started. So baseball has really started to grow. We've actually started in about 4 years ago. I got on the board of a project, and we're about to build 4 youth fields and a full-size 400, 320 college field here in town, full AstroTurf complex. And it's been lacking here. And it's been something that I've been passionate about since moving here in, I guess, 2008, is that there's been a really limited sure, Little Rock was okay. The Benton Bryant area, which is about 45 minutes away from us, an hour away from us. They had good things going on, and they're always moving baseball as a narrative. And Hot Springs was just left behind. So it's almost been a passion project. How do we get baseball back? Right. And being involved in this college program was my way of going, how do we take baseball now to the next level? Okay. The youth 2 years ago, I started a facility, right? So I have a 5,100 square foot building with some cages and some youth travel teams. And that was sort of my start, right? I was like, okay, how do we start something for the kids? There's nothing here. It's bad. We need something to revitalize baseball in this town. And fast forward, I get called about this college job. Hey, we want you to be a part of it. We want, obviously your expertise to actually make this program be what it could be. And I was really just in the right place at the right time. And living in Hot Springs, it was kind of there just wasn't enough baseball. How do we make baseball better? How do we bring baseball back to the place where baseball began all these years ago? So, our conference, long story short, right?
Sure, go ahead, baby. Just go ahead. Yeah, I'm listening.
So we joined Region 2, which is Oklahoma, predominantly Oklahoma. It's been a massive, sort of massive undertaking in the fact that, man, Oklahoma has been really strong in the Jucos for a very, very long time.
Yeah. I remember when we were coming up, it was big time. Mm-hmm.
That's right. So it is, we have the Enes, the Tonkawas, the Murray States, like programs that are winning the national championship quite often. They're winning it every year or every couple of years from our region. So it was a big undertaking to say, okay, we're not just going into a middle of the road pack. We're going into a hotbed of baseball and JUCO baseball, and trying to compete straight out the gate, and right now we're doing pretty good. We're 8-8 in conference, and we've been doing okay. So, but it's just, how do you build a program with limited budget, comparatively to the Oklahoma schools that have been established for so long? I'm actually the only coach. So I carry the 60 guys or, 50, 55 guys by myself.
Damn.
Wow. And,
you got 55 on the roster right now, Coach?
Not quite. Sorry, 4. We had 55. We're living around 45 right now.
Okay.
It's crazy. We hear these schools getting 100 kids in the fall, and it's like, man, that's a good chunk of dudes. Being on my own, that's right. That's tough.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah,
but let me ask you this. I want to go back and keep that. We're going to talk conference and all of that, but I think if you're outside of Arkansas, you may not know how. Now, I'm gonna be honest. I have never been to Hot Springs. I wanted to, but I know a lot of people from the Memphis would go on vacation there, and it's supposed to be really, really nice. You know what I'm saying? So I'm surprised that, and I'm kind of happy for you that you're part of it, and you got the program there, that they're building these fields there, because I know, being in Memphis, we would go to Little Rock, Conway, Jonesboro. You know what I'm saying? We go all the way through over there to Arkansas. I would have, Little Rock, and I would have loved to come to Hot Springs to play. You know what I'm saying? With the youth, baseball side of things, when I have my teams. For you to be ahead of that, that's got to be a nice little recruiting plus to have this facility and these kids flushing in there, right?
Yeah, it's massive, man. And that's really what so we had to go through a vote for the city to approve, or the population to approve the fields being built. It's a $9.5 million project, and it's a big project. So as part of that, the Advertising Promotions Commission, so every time you come to Hot Springs, or really any tourist town, right, they get you a little bit on the restaurant tax and the hotel tax to pay for something like this. So we do this every year. We're like, we're getting a little bit itchy. We want to do something. We want to go somewhere. And we look at the map and we're like, where are we going to go? You do your old Google and you go, okay, where are we going to go? And then every time it comes up with bloody Hot Springs. Like, you're either going to go to Dallas, you maybe go to Memphis. But if you want to get away, small town, maybe you go to Eureka Springs or something like that. But Hot Springs really is a mecca of tourism. It is a tourism town. We got lakes, we've got the racetrack, we've got downtown. It has, it's not a bad place to get stuck, is kind of what I like to say, is that, if you're going to live somewhere, and have that resort town feel, and that kind of, you're almost can have a vacation on a weekend if you wanted to go to the lake, or, go downtown and kind of see all the old stuff down there.
Yeah, they listen, I know, man, I'm extremely happy for you for that. This move here, man. So the JC route, man. I want to kind of get back to the rosters and expanding and the JC route, man. If you could, you playing at all levels, you know what I'm saying, and minors to the major leagues, and know what you're looking for in players. I'm going to talk about rosters, but I want to talk about the level of competition. I know you talked about the Oklahoma schools, but what are you seeing? What type of talent, have you been getting in? I mean, that's a large amount of kids over there, but from an overall talent standpoint, the teams that you're playing and where you guys are right now, where do you see yourselves and overall, conference play, man, compared to others?
It's been a massive, I don't want to say surprise. I've been pleasantly surprised about what I'm seeing. We have our 4 starters, right? We also have a couple of bullpen guys that are 90 plus. We're seeing pretty much 3 of the 4 starters on every rotation 90 plus. So, the days of the Juco guy being, 82, 85 is not, it really doesn't play that well. And 85, 84 to 87 is really in the hitting sweet spot. You better have the ability to pitch with that, if you are going to have success. We've been seeing some seriously quality hitters also. It's you've been through, the pro system as well, is that, almost every level that you climb. Okay, so maybe A-ball, you see 2 guys that you probably really need to stay away from, right? They're the guys that you can't let them beat you, right? When you get to AA, there's probably 4 or 5 guys that'll probably be able to beat you. AAA, there's 7 or 8, and then the big leagues, everyone's going to beat you. We're seeing, 3, 4 of these guys in the lineup, potentially 5 guys in the lineup, that they can do damage at all times. It's not just, get through the 3 and 4 guy and you got smooth sailing until they come back around again. Man, they are quality hitters. They're disciplined, for the most part. They take good at bats. They're not just throwing at bats away. And I get on my guys all the time about throwing at bats away, but they're really not as bad as I probably make out to be. But it's, man, these guys are just well drilled. And I think that's part of the great thing about the JUCO route is there's a little bit more leniency in how many dates you can actually get with your guys. You know, there's a lot of freedom in the fact that, you know, I can have them every day. You know, we can have them throughout the fall where we can see them every day. You know, a lot of those NAIA schools and things like that are limited on dates, and NCAA schools are limited on dates where they can even have full squad practice. You know, I think one of the colleges that we played early on last year said, yeah, that we were allowed one out of campus date for the fall. And it's like, man, we have a lot more leniency than that. We get, you know, I just got actually the things today, and, you know, we get 14 dates now in the fall. So, you know, we'll play 28 games in the fall.
Nice.
So
now the so from the recruiting base, and, you know, being a new program, you know, how far are you reaching out, man? Are you kind of strictly, you know, really establishing yourself in the you know, in the state of Arkansas, in and around, you know, the Hot Springs? You know, how far is that from Little Rock?
We're an hour southeast of Little Rock.
Okay, all right. I didn't think it was too far away, but so is it just like in and around that Little Rock, Conway, down to where you guys are trying to hone in over there and then branch out? Do you have multiple states already? You got some of your boys, you know, coming in from across the pond over there, coming over here. Like what you got? Because it's funny. One of my boys from Australia saw. You know, I got to connect over there. And as soon as he saw her, you know, he come calling me while I'm on the show. I'm like, dude, you know, I can't even answer the phone. But yeah, he's reaching, you know, I know he's trying to say like, yo, tell him I got some players out here. I already know, you know. Yeah. But anyway, tell me a little bit about your base, man. You know, recruiting wise, where's the most of the rosters from? Where you trying to get to?
We have a very mixed bag already, which is kind of nice. In that, like, you know, you get the experience from guys that have played in different areas of the country. We have a guy from Miami. We have a couple of guys from Louisiana, maybe 3 or 4 guys from Louisiana. We have a good portion of Arkansas guys. I mean, we're always going to try and look after our Arkansas guys early and try and, you know, part of the reason why I took this job in the first place was I wanted my local kids even to have an opportunity to play at home and get a decent program by still being at home. We got some Missouri guys. We got some Texas guys. I haven't got in Tennessee, so if anybody has some guys in Tennessee, let me know. It's funny because, you know, it's always trying to reach out to guys, you know, just like you. Is it like, hey, man, I know that you know what you're looking at. What do you got? you know, and the good thing
about the relationships over there, because as soon as I find out, I'm like, yo, what do you need? You ask me what I got, I'm like, what do you need? You know what I'm saying? And that's how this whole thing, you know, rolls, man. I mean, that's pretty impressive, man. You know, Texas, for Miami, you know what I'm saying, Missouri. I mean, damn, Louisiana, them you know, them some nice states with some really good ball players, man. So the fact within 2 years of a program, you're able to reach out and you know, form those relationships and get kids to buy into what you're doing, that's impressive, dude. Congrats already.
Yeah, the funny thing is that Louisiana's become big for us really recently, and I really attested to the fact that we went down and played the #1 team in the country first out of the gate. We hadn't played LSU Eunice straight out the gate. Everybody they're going to come watch, right? They get a good crowd every time. Mm-hmm. And we went and played 3 against them and 3 against and 1 against LSUA. And man, my phone just started blowing up from Louisiana.
Wow.
You know, and it was really the fact that, man, these guys are going to come down and they're going to play. You know, they're going to put a decent product on the field. You know, maybe I'm unable to go to Eunice. I mean, if you are a junior college kid in Louisiana, Eunice is probably your #1, right?
Yeah. Shout out to my boy Roberto Vaz, the hitting coach over. That's my boy. He's been on the show.
Yeah, exactly. Vibes, man. Like if you are in Louisiana, you want to play for Eunice. And if you are just short of that, then maybe we're a good option. We're going to come down to play you. And, we're going to try and go play. We played Hines last year in Mississippi. We're going to go play, which we played Southeastern out of Iowa, which they were ranked, I think, 4 for 3, 4, 5 a lot of the year.
Yeah.
We're trying to play the guys that are going to make us better, and give our kids exposure. That's part of it too. This is not the be all and end all of hopefully the end of your baseball career. We want you to move on from here. We want to develop you so when you go to that program in your 3rd and 4th year, now you're contributing to that. And we're not.
I love that though. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I love that though. That's the end goal for your Jucos, man. You know what I'm saying? Is to get those guys in. All right. Monica says, Coach, how far out are Jucos recruiting? 21s, 22s, 23s?
Obviously 21 is a high priority right now. If I'm finding a 21 right now, I better jump on it quick. And there's a lot of good kids still looking for their home for the fall.
Yes, there is. Yes,
there's a lot, and with COVID, it's been even worse. I think there's so many kids that in previous years would have got great opportunity straight away. Facing 3rd and 4th year guys in JUCO almost,
Yeah.
I'm looking at 22s already. 23s on the horizon. If that's quite often, if I'm looking at a 23, or even verbally committing with a 23, he may not end up with me. If he's that good at 20 as a 23, I'm sure maybe somebody bigger and better might come knocking at that point in time. Right now I'm looking for upgrades, and I think every coach would probably looking for upgrades, right? Obviously roster size, I have plenty of guys. Not all of those guys will be with us next year. We committed one of my starting pitchers / first baseman DH. He's going to Toledo D1 in the fall. I just lost my starting catcher to Texas A&M Corpus Christi. So we're really starting to get the guys that are going to move on from here that are my starters this year are getting looks at big programs, at really good programs. So
that's awesome, man. Already. I love it, man. All right. Shout out to, it's one of my guys right here, Coach. And if Stella says, what position are you needing for 2021? It's one of my guys from Dallas, Texas.
Made anything. Seriously, if it's an upgrade, if they have a decent ACT and need an opportunity, that I know that guy's going to come in, don't give me a whole lot of trouble, in the classroom side. I mean, that's a massive thing, especially in the JUCO level, is that we don't ask a lot on the GPA. We really don't.
Really?
If you have a 2.0, you're eligible. So
what if you have the high GPA but don't have the necessarily
scores?
Yeah.
I mean, if you can get bottom of the barrels like 18-ish, 17, 18, at least I know I'm going to be able to have you a tutoring situation that potentially can keep you in the right straight and narrow. We practice 9 till noon every day. And then my boys take their classes in the afternoon. And then we meet back later on and do the workout, etc. But if we can keep you on the straight and narrow, keep you in class, keep you eligible, I'm always looking for quality. And
Well, go ahead, coach. Keep going.
and you know, and it even if it's a projectable guy, you know, and you've been around the game long enough that, you know, you see that guy that he hadn't quite figured it out yet, but there's something there. You know, there's something there that hopefully in the second year that you can massively contribute. If you give me 12 months, usually I can do something with it. You know, that's kind of is maybe I'm putting too much faith in myself sometimes, but if you give me 12 months of getting in the gym and doing the things that helped me as a player and helped the guys that, you know, as teammates that I saw, this is why this guy got better. You know, what do you need to do to get better? Being in a situation, especially like Australian kids, you know, and you've played with a bunch of Aussies. If they come out of high school, they're usually undersized and they're usually undergamed, right? So if you can give them that, and a lot of the JUCO kids that we see are, you know, a lot of the kids that are kind of in that fringe position. They're usually from a small school, not a huge program, probably practice 3 days a week. If you get that guy doing things every day, if you get him in the gym every day, he is going to flourish and become a much better player much quicker. You know, and it's those raw guys that you see that are just, man, that guy is so athletically gifted. If we can teach him to play baseball sometimes, then then we're gonna have something on our hands. You know, we've got this kid right now, dude. He's crazy good. I mean, he was a high school athlete from Malvern, Arkansas. Massively great football. His name's Jemias Jimison. Absolute dude. So there's a rule in Malvern, right, called Madre Hill rule, right?
Okay.
Basically, as a youth guy, you aren't allowed to score any more touchdowns, right? Yeah.
Okay.
You scored too many touchdowns for the day. You're not allowed to score anymore. The only guy that they've ever put this in place for is Demaya. So, but he's raw. He's, you know, 6 foot, 210, solid muscle, looks like a running back, and has insane, stupid pop. And it's just, man, he just needed to play baseball. You know, football didn't think he hurt his knee or something in football. Came back, and man, he's something special. You know, like if we had a kid that potentially could figure his way into getting drafted, it's him. You know, he just super raw. You know, that guy, I don't know, remember Quan Cosby ended up going on to play at Texas after he signed early as an Angels kid. He's out of Oklahoma.
Okay.
Ended up going to play at Texas, winning a national championship football after we played baseball for a couple of years.
Wide receiver? No?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Okay. The name sounds familiar, but go ahead. I'm listening.
But, you know, same kind of thing. Like, it's just like this dude is just so athletic that if he can ever get it together, it's going to be insane. You know?
I love it. But I mean, listen, that's you're the man to get him right, man. Let me I knew he's coming on. I knew. So this is he said I was talking about him. He's like, my bad, didn't realize you on the live. He said, but anyways, I need that Aussie connect big time, mate. All right. He said, you know, I got Aussie players if needed. I've got an arm on the Australian WBC team. Let's talk. All right. I got catch. He's originally from Seattle, and but he's been living out there, married an Australian girl. And but yeah, we've done some stuff. So I need to connect y'all. And
we'll have 2 Aussies coming this fall. So that's been one of the biggest.
I know you ain't gonna let all that talent in Australia. You ain't gonna reach out to the homeland. I already know that with you. I already know.
That was part of the reason. You know, part of the job initially first too was like, all right, how do I help my Aussie kids from 7,000 miles away get an opportunity to keep playing? get an opportunity to get to the US, be seen. And, we're really pushing in Australia right now the narrative of going to college. When I was coming through, go pro. Like it was like, if you got signed, go sign. And there's been a really big shift in it. And part of that was to do with the international signing rules that came into place in Major League Baseball, is that the money that the Aussie kids were probably getting a piece of now was going to Latin America. The big dollars that were getting thrown down in Australia, we had a couple of guys that signed for $1 million.
Glenn Williams, the infielder with
Willow was the biggest signing. He may even still be the biggest signing ever.
Really? Okay. Yeah, I remember him. Yeah.
It's guys like that are getting, they were getting 600-700 maybe, 300 to 700 probably. That's not there anymore. Like unless and it wasn't all the time, but it was enough that the pro route still was appealing. And I think, one of the big things that's happened is Ryan Rowland-Smith, Trent Olchin, those guys that signed pro early have come back and gone, hey guys, this is probably the better route. We were in the minor leagues for 6 years before we even made it. You could go get an education. You could go develop as a baseball player. That doesn't have to be in a pro situation where you are undersized and, physically just not there yet. You haven't played enough games yet. This 2 years of, 2 years to 4 years of development and strength and being part of a program where you're doing it every day. Where if you went to pro ball in 2 years, if you weren't doing good, you were gone.
Facts.
You were not there anymore. If you were not developing as a young Australian, 12 months and you're done. And then you've already burned your college eligibility. So even if you wanted to do that after the fact, you couldn't do it. So let's develop on that side, develop your strength, develop your baseball IQ, develop all the things that you probably are behind on compared to an American child. Let's develop them that way. And I think it's been awesome, actually. So
nice. All right. Manny says, Coach, do you have on-campus showcases or will you be attending a D Brown showcase? That's a good question over there, huh?
That was a great question. So D decided to put his showcase on a day that I'm in Oklahoma with my club. So
me and my bad timing, right? Right.
That's right, yeah. No, but so we will have an on-campus showcase. We're going to do that early June. We've had great success with it. My starting shortstop came from a showcase. The kid that we just got to D1 at Toledo came from the showcase.
Do you know when you're going to have it?
It'll be early June. I haven't quite set the date yet. I'm going to get on that. I'm going to get it with the guys.
Just let me know. Let me know, and I'll post it and get some guys over there. And I wish, like I said, the posting, the marketing, and then boom, find out my boy was right down the street. Hey, it's just a small world. I promise you. I didn't even know my boy was even coaching down the street. From where I was having the showcase, man. So. But it's just a good connect, though, Manny. He's part of my program too that I have. I help kids get into schools, and we talked about some players already. So yeah, it's the Texas boys. I got my boy Stella. They're Texas boys, so they, listen, we got some talent over here. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad we did hook up. All right.
No, absolutely, and dude, and I think that's the college recruiting world right now, right? Is that we were unable to go and see kids in person. Right. So you're trying to make a decision on a kid from potentially 3 videos, and half the time they don't even put a gun reading in it. And you're like, man, his mechanics look okay. It kind of looks all right. Oh man, it's a good swing. Shame it was on 75 miles an hour.
Facts. Yes. So speaking of that, let's want to get into that, Rich. I mean, you again. I just want to talk about this and let parents know. I mean, coaching is coaching, man. But then it's always a little something different when, obviously, a personal friend of mine who also has been at the tippy top. All right, this guy's been in the league. All right. And for you guys that don't know, he was a pitcher, man. He used to pump 95 to 97 and what I'm saying, on their ass. You know what I'm saying? And so he knows, what I'm saying, not just, again, I have to say this, not on a college level, but knows what he's, what it's supposed to look like to, with the potential of getting to the next level. Okay. So saying that, when you're seeing a young prospect from a video purpose wise, or even in person, what are some of the things that you are looking for that say, hey, what I'm saying, this kid can help me. Let's start position player first. This kid can help me, in my program.
Probably the biggest thing I really look for is ability to put a barrel on a baseball. I mean, putting a barrel on a baseball just means that you've done it enough. Like you've been in the cage enough. You've seen enough pitching to go, man, I can barrel a baseball no matter what the pitch is. Kind of like a Howie Kendrick, right? That dude was the best dude that you could ever see barrel a baseball.
Consistently.
Like for some reason, he just had a knack for barreling a baseball. He's obviously very good, and obviously played a long time in the league, right?
Yes, he did.
But his ability to just barrel a baseball was probably the biggest. And he was my first ever roommate in pro ball, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah. So prior to taking the job, one of my kids is actually at Arkansas right now. Easton Bates. Because he's a Hot Springs kid, and he hooked up when he was about 11, and we kind of worked him through, and now he's at U of A getting some starts as a freshman.
Nice.
So, but I hadn't seen anybody barrel baseball like Howie until I saw this guy. This kid was just something different, right? That is something that I probably value more than anything, is that if you put the ball in play hard every time, you're going to get more hits. If you take, a good swing, but you can't barrel a baseball, then that isn't really going to help anybody. So that's probably one of the biggest things I look for, is just being able to put a barrel on a baseball. Athleticism. Athleticism is always going to be key. We've all seen that guy that's unathletic that can do it. We've all played with that guy. Like, man,
yes.
How does this guy look so unconventional,
but gets it done?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a diamond in the rough every once in a while that you're like, man, wow, this guy's something special, even though he looks unconventional. Like Hunter Pence,
right?
Unconventional, dude, right?
Facts.
So we're small, and this is something that I probably didn't. That has probably been opened my eyes in this season more than any. Is that our guys are little. We're going to play against dudes that are 6'3", 6'4", 230, 240, and you like, and not a soft 240, like a solid 240. But potentially there's a reason why they're here. That, if that 240 guy could barrel a baseball all the time at facing something that's above 90 miles an hour, it potentially isn't here.
Right.
It's that guy, and we see it a lot, is that those guys can really barrel that 85 to 88, even that 90, but can they consistently do it when it's 90? or
Right.
92, you know,
Right.
like, or if that guy has a good breaking pitch, can you lay off it to hit the fastball? We see that a lot, is that guys have a hard time hitting spin.
Yes.
You
Yes.
know, and that's, man, you know as much as anybody,
Yeah.
takes
time.
a minute
It
to
takes
be able
time.
to get a good breaking ball.
Right. Right.
Like, sure, you
You
can
ain't,
hit
you ain't really ain't gonna hit. I can't hit your best breaking ball. I ain't gonna be able to. I gotta hit your mistake. You know.
you're not hitting my best one. If I hang one, that's on me. You might get me.
Right.
Yeah. And that's kind of is what we're seeing, is that guys don't always lay off the good breaking ball. You know, don't realize that, man, you ain't hitting it even if you take a good swing on it, you're probably hitting it a couple of times out of 10. You know, if you're good. But ability to handle the glove is probably is something that we don't always get time for. You know, like, as much as I try and get as much time as I can with these kids, I'm trying to make a decision on you in 30 minutes. You know, like, you better come. I'm going to get you stretched. I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you potentially. So we had a kid come today, right?
Okay.
For me, awesome kid, big, strong, kind of like the 6'3" kid, 230, not quite put together yet. Okay. Left bat, first baseman. We just happen to be doing a sim game today. So I got him stretched. He took infield, outfield with our guys. So I could kind of get a little bit of a feel for what he could do with the glove. You know, watched him throw. I took him to the cage. Gave him probably 15 swings, right? Goes out, and then he got about 4 ABs today. You know, and I just tried to push him in. You know, and it was like,
and that's a young kid.
This is a high school kid that I'm potentially looking at.
Oh, that's awesome. So he got to get on the field and get thrown right into the mix.
Yeah, I'm just dude, I want you to see what it's like. You know, hey, if you are scared and nervous, we're all going to be scared and nervous a little bit, right?
Right.
You know? Oh man, you just threw me in the mix with these college guys, right?
Right.
And it just happened to be a situation where, hey man, I need to see what you can do now. Like, I have an hour or two. I'm letting you fill into the practice, and dude, I need to just get a look at you. And then he went and did a tour at the campus afterwards.
Nice.
Quite often that is kind of how I see a lot of my guys, or I invite them to my building, get them in, and if they're a pitcher, I'll throw them on the gun and see what they need to do. If they're, you know, I don't expect the world in a bullpen, but you've seen it long enough that you can go, well, okay, this guy, all right, you were 85. Okay, maybe in the game you'll get a couple of bump mile an hour. You know, let's hope you get a bump of mile an hour on the you know. And then you have a feel for a breaking ball or changeup, or, you know, some sort of secondary pitch. Can I teach you one? Do I think I could teach you something else that you would give you something towards your arsenal? Because I know I'm going to put miles an hour on you. 100%. If you are part of my program, if I don't get at least 5 on you, I'm disappointed in myself. So, and that kid that we just had sign, he was stuck at 88, right? Stuck. Had been in other programs. Big, strong, athletic kid, 6 foot, 210, thick, not a lot of body fat. Like, and it's like, dude, how are you not above 88? Right? This last weekend, he hit 93.
Nice.
So, and it's like, man, you are too strong, too athletic. Okay, let's make this slight mechanical adjustment. Bam, there you are. Right. And it's happened with pretty much everybody. Is that if I can get you on my program, and let's go into that. Let's delve into that a little bit. Okay. So I was probably a 92, 93 guy. I'd sit 91, 92, 93. Good breaking ball. Was kind of stuck, and I'd lifted as a bodybuilder, like as a guy that just went to the gym and lifted squats and, like all these kinds of things. Like, okay, this is what you do. You go to the gym and you just lift like a bodybuilder, right? You meant to like look kind of good. Yeah. You got to, okay, I'm going to be strong, right?
All right.
So what changed for me is I went to this place in Arizona called Fisher Institute.
Okay. So
Brett was, and I'm sure a lot of the guys online will know about like Cressy and Cressy Sports Performance down in Florida, who's doing like Kluber and all, the guys who win the Cy Youngs out there like every year.
Okay.
Brett was Cressy before Cressy was Cressy. It's kind of how I look at it, right?
Okay.
It's where Randy Johnson trained when he was there.
Okay. Wow.
So he was sort of that first guy that really, at least that I knew of, knew sport-specific strength training. I go there for an off season. Actually, I think I went there for about 2 months. Right, because I had to still go home. It was after the season. I was going to stay for like 6 weeks, 2 months.
Okay.
And I get training with Brett and his program down there. And I did it religious. Like I was hitting the gym twice a day. Like I was 3 hours in the morning, I'd go back in the evening for an hour. And I'd do it religious. And I'd do my extra stuff on the side that I'd always done. I did his stuff first.
Okay.
And over the years, it's evolved, and I've put things in and taken things out and done that kind of thing. But I came back that next year, like 94, 98.
And then that's when I remember you.
Yeah. So when I was throwing against you, probably in 06, 07, it was the off season of 05.
Okay.
I was always good. I was always all right. I was, one of the better guys in the bullpen. Could get guys out. Needed something to take me over the edge. Right. I was starting a little bit, kicking around. Dude, I was in A-ball at high A at like 18.
Wow.
So like I went to low A, got a lot of guys out quick. Mid-season, I was already in high A.
Wow.
Goodness. All right.
Yeah.
Like I kick around being a starter. I kick around, they wanted to, let's see if he can start. Let's, that kind of thing. So I kicked around bloody high A for 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Got there early and then spent 4 years there, huh? Damn.
Well, yes, been spot 4 years there. Just like, man, we got to teach this kid to pitch. He can throw, but he can't pitch yet. And that's where that young Aussie kid that doesn't have game, he can get away with it against fresh out of college guys.
Right.
All right. Now you're facing those guys that are 2 and 3, 4 years potentially in pro ball, or coming out of D1 programs into pro ball.
Right.
All right. I'm just going to spit on his fire. Like I'm just going to spit on his breaking ball. Right. You have those free swingers in low A that are just swinging anything. Right. And that's what I got away with. Right. So, but yeah, came back that next year. I started in, when I start? I started in high A and then went to the big leagues that year in 07.
Nice.
And it was just, it's much easier to pitch at 95. like, the hitters got to respect it a little more if it's a 95.
You ain't lying. So when you know you can get a guy 5 miles an hour, and so is that something that you took from your training with the guy in AZ, and you kind of put that into your program, and is that what you're doing to increase these guys that's coming to your program? Is that what you're doing now?
Yeah, and really it is. Okay, guys, I just need you to buy in. If you guys buy into this, 95% of the guys I've had will get much better, much stronger, get there safely. That's part of it too. The best part about the program that I do is it was designed by a rehab guy. So it's not just about, pure strength. All right. I was strong.
Right.
Now, how do you connect the strength together? How do you connect that kinetic chain from, man, this dude can squat 500 pounds, but what about the things how do you get that 500 pounds to correlate to pitching a baseball?
Yes.
And even in hitting a baseball, throwing a baseball, no matter what it is, we've all seen those bodybuilders at the gym that they can't hit a baseball, or they can't throw a baseball.
Right. Right. And no range of motion over here. So I got a question that came in here, Coach.
Yep.
Kevin and Amber says Devin Knight is a 2023 two-way player, outfield, third base, ranked 22nd here in Oklahoma, but is looking for coaches like this to play for. It's not always the big schools that are appealing to some athletes. It's coaches that are big on development that we appreciate. What is the best way to communicate with Coach?
So you guys can all contact me at richard.thompson@np.edu. That's probably the best way to get a hold of me. Make sure you mention this, because this is something that we probably should touch on as well, is that I probably get 50 emails a day.
One more, Coach, hold on before you start.
Yep.
One more time. I want to post it and leave it up there. Richard.Thompson. Keep that thought, though. Richard.Thompson at what?
At np.edu.
Okay. All right. So you get 50. You make sure you do what now? Because you get 50 emails a day.
Make sure you mention that you wanted Dee's guys, or you saw me on Dee's podcast or Dee's show, because me understand that you are actively looking, and Dee, and those things, they carry weight. They absolutely carry weight. Is that because I do, as a coach, we're on, I guess, multiple recruiting platforms. We're on all these places that, man, I'm getting 50 emails plus a day, from players. Bodies is not the hard part.
Quality.
I could find 50 kids tomorrow. But is that kid going to be able to help me? And I think that's the transitional part of going from a player to a coach, is that now potentially your job is on the line from what you find. Because I have to put a product on the field that's going to win. I can't sit here. Sure, great. You get in 50 guys, you make some money from the university, but that's not what we're looking to do here. We're looking to compete for national championships. And that's, and then me, I'm a competitor, like we all are, right?
The Aussie blood is different, though, man. The Canadian and Aussie blood is different, man. Yeah. Hard-nosed dudes, man.
Yeah, and we can be a little fiery. We can be a little bit. I can't throw the ball for myself anymore. So I've got to put the faith in my coaching and your ability to come get me some outs, to come take a quality at bat, to come take a good swing on a fastball if you get it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if they give you a hanging breaking ball, I need you to do damage. You know, it's putting my faith in you now. This is you know, Mike Sochi always used to get so mad at me because in the big leagues, when I first got there, I threw hard. I had a tendency to try and pick, man. I was like, man, I'm throwing against big leaguers, right? Triple A, who cares? I just start right in the middle. I missed it, right? You go to the big leagues, and you're like, oh, man, that's Alex Rodriguez. Oh, that's David Ortiz. I'm going to be a little bit picky. And then you get behind the count, and you know that a 2-0 and a 3-1 hack is a little different to the 1-2 hack.
Yes, it is. Time to eat.
Yeah, and so she used to get so mad at me for just, you know, picking. Like, dude, you stuff plays, right? Just attack the zone, and you'll be fine. You know.
Yeah, Social's character dude, man. Yeah, I used to like that dude, man. Good dude. I never played for him. I didn't make it up there, but yeah, good dude. Played against him, man, up there with KC. But question: at what age do we as parents need to start trying to get our son at the right place to be seen, and how do we get that exposure?
This is a hard one for me, because it is so competitive so early. And it's something I deal with in the youth circuit a lot, is that we didn't take leads until I was like 13. We didn't have to worry about base runners until I was 12, right? We're throwing these kids at 9 years old to the wolves, like 8, 9 years old. You are learning to pitch, pick off, hold base runners, all these kinds of things super early, right? Okay, let's rip the Band-Aid off and then we'll be fine, right? So I knew baseball's a bane of my existence, I'll tell you. But it's something that I probably wasn't aware of, that kids were getting scouted as freshmen in high school, even prior. And it was something that, looking back, with my kid that went to Arkansas, he was an undersized kid, which is kind of where we held him back just a little bit. Is that dude, you can barrel a baseball better than anybody. You're undersized. We do not want to give a poor impression. Just somebody's going to write you off because you're small.
Right.
In saying that, he didn't really get into the showcase circuit until he was a junior in high school. If Arkansas,
so you knew he was a good player, but he was undersized a little bit, so you kind of kept him hardcore throughout the whole national showcase type circuit, let him grow a little bit, you know, but you knew you had something there, but he just physically wasn't there yet.
And we just worked purely on getting him physically ready. He ends up going play with Rawlings Prospects out of Sherwood, I believe they are. And they ended up being the number 5 team in the country. They had Caden Wallace. You know, like, this team was nasty. Like, if you were a dude in Arkansas, you're on that team as what is he? He's a 2020, right? I mean, that team was stout. The difference between, say, him and Caden was that guy had been through the circuit from when he was much younger. So he, you know, and if, you know, they're both at Arkansas, Caden's an absolute dude, right?
Okay.
But some opportunities came up that side, I think, that for some of the guys that, Ethan probably missed out on was the ability to go make a U.S. team, to be on the radar enough to go make a USA team, to go make one of those really kind of cool trips that in those U.S., high level USA baseball, or even the perfect game lists, or even that online profile that starts to build if you are playing in those big national showcase tournaments. What's the first thing I go look at? If I have a kid on the phone, or if a kid's contacting me, okay, what am I going to look at? I'm going to Google him.
The profile on the person.
I'm going to Google him.
Look at that profile. Yeah.
I'm going to Google him. PG will come up. PBR will come up. If he's any good, I can probably tell pretty quickly. And, there's only, 24 hours in a day. I probably have 10 minutes, especially as just a singular coach, also running my full-time business on the side. Dude, sometimes you got to catch me at the right time. And I've got 5 to 10 minutes.
Max.
Do I call you back? Do I email you back? So that's something that's potentially, you better have a grab, right? Man, if you have good numbers, put that in the subject of your email.
I love it.
Because if
hold up, Rich. So that's a nugget right there. All right. Because I try to say that too. Give them some subject, something, greatest player that you're going to see this year, this summer, or something. Right? I tell my guys that when you put in a subject line in email, I tell my guys that I like what you said. I haven't heard somebody say this before, Coach. I've had plenty of coaches on here. Yeah. So what numbers are you wanting that'll stand out to you? I'm putting you on the spot over there, and but I love it though, man.
Yeah, but seriously, you tell me you have a 95 exit velo, maybe I'll call you. If you say that you've hit a 9, I'm going to call you. I'm going to email you. You can back it up with a video. I'm going to talk to you twice. like in all seriousness,
I love it.
If your eggs, and I hate the numbers game of it.
Yeah, but it's a reality, right? It is what it is. It's the reality, man.
If you are underpowered, if you are underpowered, if you throw 82, you probably can't play here. If you are, underpowered, but you're 6'6", put in the subject line. I'm 6'6".
You laughing, but these hey, these are nuggets. These is what I'll be living for when I put y'all when I bring y'all on here. These are the nuggets that I want you to spit to the parents so they understand. You know what I'm saying? Like, because everybody will give me, yeah, shoot me a video, yeah, shoot me an email, whatever, right? You keeping it even extra 100. Like, I ain't got time. All right. So if I'm just glancing through 50 emails a day, put on the subject line, I'm 6'6", or I'm a 6'4", 60, 6'4", 60 runner, outfielder, right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, so now the subject line's right there. Now it's like, okay, boom. He's dropping nuggets right there, parents. I hope y'all understand. That was a nugget right there, Rich. That was big time right there.
Yeah, but in all seriousness, if you give me a video with no subject matter, right? If you give me a video and man, I feel like people are throwing, those videos you see on Instagram and stuff. Man, this dude throws 108 on a turn and burn, right? All right, how heavy is the ball?
Right. Right. Right.
Like,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
But like if you send me a video and there's no radar gun reading in it, I'm just okay. Maybe if you show me with a radar gun in the image, you throwing 88 to 90 miles an hour, 87, I'm probably calling you. I'm probably going to shoot you a text. I'm probably going to email you back. If I got projects, I guess it's I have projects, and sure, I'll get more projects throughout the years, but D2 Juco in our conference, you better be mid-8s plus to get innings. Okay? To get innings. Or you better be funky. Right? You better have something different.
Can you there's just explain what that means. Okay, you better be can you please explain that to the parents? What do you mean by you better be funky? Because everybody ain't baseball and knowledge.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So as a pitcher, we've all hit off those kids that are just a little bit weird to hit off.
Right.
They're just a little bit something special, just not even special. A little bit dude throws an invisible. Right. But then it has all arms and legs going everywhere. And it's like, I mean, Dontrell Willis had insane stuff.
Right.
But Dontrell Willis's action was funky.
Right. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
We have a sidearm guy right now. He was my closer. And he was 74. Hey, you popped some
throwing that change slow with the frisbee slide over there from down there. Nobody could touch it.
You remember Will Hyatt?
Yeah.
Matty Will Hyatt, man. That dude could get outs.
Yeah.
He is he ended up starting for me this last weekend.
Okay. All right.
I have 4 guys. Actually, I have 5 guys. 5 guys, right-handed, 90 miles an hour plus with breaking balls. Right? Okay, so a 4-game set, you see right-handed, 90 miles an hour for 4 games straight, you can probably hit it.
Right. Facts.
So second game of the series, I throw Kenley. He's 75 from underneath, throws an 88 pitch, perfect game, 1 hit. Like
got dudes mad. I already know dudes is like, yo, get I already
everyone was so mad. Like and I'm talking first, second, third pitch of the at bat, just ground out to shortstop.
Right.
Like just roll over to shortstop.
Those are those frustrating days, dude. I hated them. We had a couple. What's the name too? And he threw kind of hard from down there. He's still hanging in there.
O'Day.
Yeah. He's still hanging in there. I saw him the other day. Yeah.
I mean, like you remember Moylan with the Braves? He's Aussie guy.
Didn't he blow out?
Multiple times.
Yeah, multiple times. Yeah.
Yeah, he came back from TJ.
Right.
Crazy story. Like he was with us in 2006 at the World Baseball Classic.
Okay.
Was selling pharmaceuticals and just started throwing sidearm one day, ended up throwing 94 from the side. And then he was the World Baseball Classic in 06. 3 weeks later, he was in the big leagues. Basically, he was a young kid at 18, signed, messed around, was a shortstop. 5 years on the track, like starts throwing sidearm, ends up getting signed by the Braves. Like seriously, was in the big leagues in like a month, like, and then stayed for 10 years. Like it wasn't like he just got to the big leagues and then was kind of done. But no, he He was
dirty on the side. My mummy kept getting hurt. I didn't know if he, whatever happened to him. And
I think Bobby Cox had him throw I want to say like almost 100 games on you or something.
Gosh.
Like it was like he led the big leagues in appearances one year, and it was something like 90 something. It was like something crazy. Yeah.
Listen, so Rich, man, I got a couple questions more about the school, and I'm gonna get you out of here, man. Appreciate this time. Enrollment, how many kids are at the school, and what are the costs that's associated with that? I know you kind of talked about a little bit about getting into school, but what are the costs in and out of state and enrollment? You know.
So we're at about 3,000 students. So good mid-level, probably JUCO, I would say. We've got brand new facilities on campus. Like so our dorms were just built. This fall was the first year anybody's ever lived in them. So they're brand new.
Nice.
They are about $2,500 a semester. Don't quote me on that, but it's something like that. So for an international guy, we require 18,000.
18.
Mm-hmm. So that's kind of, you got to prove that you can pay 18. It's basically what an international guy needs to do.
And so if it's international, out of state the same, or international is different? How does that work?
International is different. It's funny because the numbers based on what you would eat, what your living expenses would be, and their guesstimates, and probably high guesstimates. So in county is obviously cheapest. I think we're at 130 a credit hour.
Okay.
I think out of county, in state is 150, and then I think it may be 180 for out of state per credit hour. So we are really reasonably priced. And it's kind of the conversations I'm having with a lot of the kids, that if you were looking at an NAIA school, if you were looking at even a D2 4-year or something like that, it's pretty much half the cost for your first 2 years AA, where you can take that anywhere you want to go. If you get your gen ed done, and you can take your AA certificate and go anywhere you want, at basically half the cost. So at the moment, we do require our athletes to stay on campus, which was, something that with new dorms and those kinds of things. And the best part is about that is that you just end up with the team atmosphere.
Right.
You are around your brothers all the time. You're around your buddies all the time. You're around, you get to hang out. You get to talk baseball. You get to do all the things that if you live in an apartment, you potentially wouldn't be doing.
Love that.
And it does help build that team culture, and it does help build the ability to, we have cages on campus that you can use at any time.
Nice.
Go use it. Go hit.
Nice.
Like, go hit. If, 9 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night, man, I need to get some cuts in. Go. It's open.
I love that, man. Wow.
Yeah. So just that ability to have the freedom and the development, walking distance from your room,
right,
from where you're living, is massive. And that was something that we missed the first year. We didn't have the field that we use now. So that's one of our biggest selling points, is we have a fully AstroTurf field.
Nice.
We share it with the local high school.
Okay.
We have done 1 day of field work the whole season.
You said you have done what now? I'm sorry, I missed that part. I'm sorry.
We've done 1 day of field work the whole season.
Nice.
So like all those days where you'd spend 2+ hours on a field, are non-existent. They're the times that you could go, okay, we're going to go get more cuts. We're going to go get more work in. We don't have to be on the field, topping the field, and doing all those things where that's time lost, I guess.
Right. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. I got a Nick Green chiming in and saying what's up.
As in the Nick Green? As in
Yep.
Atlanta Braves now, Nick Green?
I thought he was still with the Red Sox.
Red Sox.
Yes. Yes.
Dude, Nick popped up on my Instagram the other day. I was so pumped. Like I hadn't seen that guy in forever, dude. That guy has the nastiest changeup you ever seen.
Yep. Greeny popped in here. I saw his name pop in here and checking you out over here, man. So, hey, listen, so Rich, man, love everything, man. Obviously, you're going to be hearing from some of my listeners. Remember, listeners, that when you're emailing them, he just gave you the blueprint, gave you some real game. Remember, and also tell them, where you've seen them and heard from them. All right. Rich, you're going to end it. We're going to end this here, and I want you to give us a good message before we head out. But I want to make sure, real fast, tomorrow I'll be on at 4 p.m. Friday I will not be on. I'll be traveling, going out there towards where Rich is at over there, and Little Rock, flying out. Monday we're gonna be joined by Payne College out of Georgia here, and then I may have another school coming in at the end of the week next week. Today is the last day to sign up for the Little Rock Showcase. Okay. So get your, it's last minute over here. As you can tell, listen, he may not be able to come, but trust me, this is what the beautiful thing is here. All it is just a phone call and a live stream away for the, Saturday and for the future. I'm connected to my guys, especially my Arkansas, Tennessee, Texas, connects. You know what I'm saying? Like AstroTurf Field, brand new program that's doing well. Big league guy training you. Guys already going D1 already. All right, 2 years in. So listen, it's right there for you. Okay. So the last thing, we're also May 22nd. I have locked down the field. We are going to be in Pompano Beach next month doing our showcases. Rich, I will link you up. And obviously, I want you to go have your showcases and all of that. I hope 120, 200 kids come out there, but we definitely need to link up and do something over there on your campus. And even if it's something private during the week in the summertime, I could bring some other kids out there, part of this network over here, on top of what you're doing. All right. We'll reach out and do something like that in the future. So if you could, that link would be for Florida, will be up in the next 24 to 48 hours. All right. Sign up for the Little Rock thing. Here we go. All right, Rich, if you could, man, I appreciate your time. Great catching up with you, my guy. If you could just take us out with a great message, man, I appreciate it, brother. And I'm gonna
I think the biggest thing is for all the kids is keep working. I mean, if you are good enough, you will be found. There's too many eyes on the ground, and there's too many guys looking at all times, looking for you. Keep working, keep putting out the content, keep reaching out to coaches, reach out to them. Right? Sometimes timing is the best thing that you could ever have go in your right direction. Because there's days where I'm not recruiting. If you catch me on that day, it's going to get lost in the shuffle. If you just have to catch me or catch any coach, at the right time. We have lives too. We have kids. We have, all these things going on. Catch it, dude, send out as many emails as you can. Send out something with a tagline in the subject that says, "You need me." Like, this is my stats. You need me. I mean, because that will catch my eye more than Jim Bob, whatever, John Brown, right, at gmail.com. Right? I mean, bottom line is, if you don't put something in the tagline that gets my attention, that keeps me on it for more than 5 minutes or 30 seconds, sometimes is all I get, is, dude, put something in the tagline. Like, I can't tell you, like, put something in it. If you're reaching out to me on Instagram, if you're reaching out to me on Twitter, if you're reaching out to me anywhere else, show me a number, because that is the measurable. That is, out of every kid in the U.S., at least it gives you a measurable. You know, oh, okay, man. Like, if you throw, okay, here's a kid, an example. I've got a kid that can throw the longest long toss you've ever seen in your life, right? He doesn't throw the half the mound. He's like 85 off the mound. But dude can throw it back of the end zone all day long. Put that in your video. Like, because somebody like me is going to go, man, he just threw that thing 130 yards.
Right.
I can put him on the mound, and maybe I'm going to get something.
Right. I love it. I love it.
It's and that's such a crazy thing, isn't it? It's almost clickbait, right? Like, it's almost clickbait. Is that I get so many emails, you're going to have to give me something that's clickbait.
You keeping it 100 with them, Coach, and Rich, man. If they don't get nothing else besides the knowledge of the school, if they can walk away with that was well worth the interview, man. And I definitely appreciate it, man. I love you, my guy. Good catching up with you, man. We'll be in contact. I'm gonna be reaching out. Hell, you're gonna hear from me. I know you're gonna hear from some of my guys from the show. And last question, Rich, and I'm gonna get you out of here. What is your Twitter? I got a question that came in from Kev. I know you like every coach come on here and tell you, like, dude, I got somebody else that do the damn Twitter stuff.
No. I do my own Twitter. It was funny. It was funny because I guess I was kind of breaking in the big leagues when Twitter really first came out, which kind of dates me. At the beginning, it was like me and CJ Wilson. Like there's some more guys in there, but it was like CJ was on another level, but I was doing okay, right? And when I left, when I got over to the A's from the Angels, I ended up changing it to Chopper. Here it is. It's CHOPPER 54.
Chopper 60. Chopper what?
Chopper 54.
54. Okay.
Because I had the Angels, I'd had Chopper 63 for the forever. Like that was it, right?
I saw something about Chopper 63. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was that's my Instagram probably if you catch it.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, Instagram.
Or even if you hit up Nighthawk Athletics, tag Nighthawk Athletics, tag me in it. That'll be a good way to get a hold of me.
One of my guys said this, and I want to tell you that too. I'm feeling the uniforms, dude. I really like the uniforms. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm feeling it. Yeah, one of my other listeners said it to me earlier, and you were talking, and I didn't want to post that, uniform, whatever, but I wanted to make sure that, because he peeped it too. He posted twice about, like, dude, tell them about the uniforms. Like,
hey,
they're nice, man.
If you like the like this is the color, we have a full baby blue uni.
Ooh.
Yeah, like it's sweet. Like it's sweet. I mean, unis are on point. And little insider info, potentially going to add a black jersey so we almost have like 6 unis.
I love it. Pump it up. Hey, talk. Hey, that's it. Hey, you know what I'm saying? You got stun on them right there. That's right.
Yeah,
Stun on them right there, Rich. You
even if
know,
we ain't
parents,
good, we can look
kids
good.
love that. Parents not so much, but the kids love that stuff. You know that. Yeah.
Absolutely. And so with my business, we have a Rollings Pro Shop. So I do a lot of stuff. Like we end up doing, quattros and velos and all the bats from the rolling side. The boys like if you're a catcher, I got all white head to toe.
The catcher's gear.
For the catcher's gear. Yeah, it's
nice.
Yeah. We're gonna look good.
I love it, dude. Well, listen, man, Rich, man, it's been a pleasure, man, catching up, man. I gotta get out of here, man, and man, I'll be following you. I'll be in contact. Listen, I'm gonna call you. Within the next few days. Hopefully, I get to see some talent out there to, kind of give you something, and I could give you the footage and to view for some of the guys that's out there, that can play, and then. Yeah, man, let's just keep in touch, and you'll be hearing from some of my guys. I'll reach out to you and some of my guys to vouch for some of these guys that I've seen, and we'll go from there, man. I love you, my brother. Thank you for coming on, bro.
Absolutely, man. I look forward to it, and absolutely, because I'm going to look at all these showcases.
You heard it right there. You heard my boy over there. Did you hear the parents? Okay, I don't play around over here. We this is what it is. It's just love over here. My boy reached out. You know what I'm saying? I'm so glad he did. I damn right down the block. I would be so mad if I found out his ass was there an hour away and I didn't hear from him. I would be upset. But it's just good to, just connect with it's the beauty of playing as long as we did and connecting and doing it now. I can help him. You know what I'm saying? We're bringing, quality players to his program. And so that's what this thing is for. And he's, come on, and I'm excited for him for this program, where it's going. So definitely want to, I got to scope, when I come in town, or one of these days, you're going to have to give me one of the, one of those lids, man, or something, man. You know what I'm saying? So I'm feeling those hats, man, on the Andy Unis. But parents, 4 p.m. tomorrow, I will be on, and won't be on Friday. So join me tomorrow as we get this going. Email him, subject line, something special. He gave you the blueprint of what it is, all right? And then we go from there. Rich, thank you, my brother.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you, D.
All right, man. Parents, 4 p.m. tomorrow.